Ethnographic study at Glebe Markets. We are going to use the design thinking process diagram from the Institute of Design at Stanford to assist us. Focusing solely on the empathize stage, the methodology of this stage includes interviews, observations, research, and data collection. This stage is all about understanding with absolutely no problem solving. We will be utilizing Don Norman's emotional design theory to collect anthropocentric data, focusing on observations at visceral, behavioral, and reflective levels. This theory will carry us through the empathize stage. Using Don Norman's emotional design theory, we will collect triangulated data so that we can really flesh out this stage of the design thinking process. First, we will start with observations from the ethnographer, which is primary data, all undertaken in person by me. The markets operate every Saturday 10 a.m. till 4 p.m, rain, hail, or shine. Located at Glebe Public School on Glebe Point Road, market staff and organisers are located on site in the school office for assistance. There is one undercover area located at the basketball court. Half of the market is not wheelchair accessible. There are 2 toilets on each side of the school, for both genders. Food and drink options are located across the market with a designated food area. Public transport options include bus, tram, and train. Bike racks are available at the front of the school with a designated bike path. Parking at Glebe Markets. On the day of observation, I walked through the surrounding streets that I found to be of relevant use for users of the market. Pictured is a screenshot of the area annotated in yellow to show the streets with free on-street parking, a nearby shopping centre which has 2-hour free parking. The red shows the areas that are paid parking at a rate of $4.20 per hour. Multiple disabled parking is available in close proximity to the entrance of the market, with zebra crossings at each entrance of the school, making for safe entrance off the main road. Ranges of stalls include live music, vintage clothing, fashion and jewellery, homewares and craft, collectibles, fresh food, and produce. The day of observation was on a Saturday at 1 p.m. It was a very warm day at 28 degrees with full sun exposure. It was a long weekend in the school holidays. This week was a particularly busy market due to the time of the year and weather. About 5,000 to 8,000 people attended on this day. Smells and sounds that I observed included leather, kids playing, people conversing, fresh flowers, bartering and bargaining, people laughing, pastries, soaps and handmade scents, local musicians and bands performing, and fresh coffee. Our next point of triangulated data will be a series of interviews to inform our research, which are a source of primary data. We will interview 1 vendor and 1 customer. Using Don Norman's emotional design theory, we will be looking at the interviewee's visceral feelings, their first impressions, sensory appeals, and emotional triggers. Behavioural, navigation ease, function, interactions, engagement, reflective, personal connection to market, emotional significance, sustainability, and ethics. Our vendors are a mother and daughter duo named Jackie and Rory. Their business is woman-led and owned, and they have been selling vintage clothing at Glebe Markets permanently for 35 years. They are creative, dynamic, sustainable, and they love fashion. Jackie was drawn to selling at Glebe Markets 35 years ago due to its profitability. The atmosphere, the energy, and community feel influences her enjoyment as a seller and keeps her coming back. Jackie and Rory colour-code their clothes, arrange bags, boots and accessories neatly to create a visually appealing display. They wash and iron all of their vintage clothing to create an inviting and organised stall. Rory stated that as permanent sellers, it is easier for them to set up their stall due to closer parking and being located near a gate. They mentioned accessibility challenges next to their stall, such as wood chip ground making it not wheelchair accessible, and tree roots creating tripping hazards. When approaching customers, they take a laid-back approach. They help customers when possible, but try not to be pushy. Their main goal is to make customers feel confident, sexy, and comfortable. They tag everything with prices and QR codes to scan for their social media and website. Jackie and Rory stated that being a part of this market is incredibly rewarding, as selling vintage clothing helps to reduce landfill, promotes sustainability, and seeing people feel confident and happy in their purchases is inspiring. They feel satisfied to offer unique, well-made, lasting items and to help embrace sustainability. They reflected on meaningful moments and interactions, stating that building relationships with their customers and other vendors remind them why they love what they do. They love the market vibe, music, energy of the crowd, variety of demographics, and different stalls keeps this shopping experience human. To foster stronger connections with customers, vendors, and the broader community, they said that management could network more, improve communication and support for casual traders, and look to other well-maintained markets for inspiration. Our customer's name is Alea. Alea is a 23-year-old student who works as a waitress. She has a few injuries as well as ADHD and anxiety. She loves fashion and sustainability, which explains why she's attending Glebe Markets. Alea's first impressions of the market were that they are overwhelmingly busy. She said she felt quite stressed out, stating there was no order with the walkways and dogs on leads created obstacles for people not looking. Alea said that if a store looks badly set up, for example, the items are falling off the rack, she will not invest her energy to look through the store. She stated that if the items do not look of quality, she would prefer not to buy them. Aesthetically, if the store holder is wearing something that Alea would wear, she said that she would look at their items. Alea said that the market was fairly easy to navigate, and to locate items of interest, she will generally go to the left and right wings of the school to look at the casual sellers. Alea said that interactions with like-minded community make her experience fun. Alea's purchases are impacted by practicality, affordability, and other factors. She asks herself questions like, do I need it? Will I use it or wear it? Do I think it's worth the price? And will it hold its value if I resell it? Alea likes shopping at thrift markets compared to first-hand shops due to its one-of-a-kind pieces, unbeatable prices, preventing landfill, emotional attachment to items, and outdoor environment. She stated many casual stores had $2 buckets on the ground, which were difficult for her to access due to her injuries, and imagines this would be even harder for the elderly. Many stores also had physical barriers like steps, gutters, uneven surfaces, making it challenging for people with mobility issues. She stated that a lot of the items she has purchased from the markets are statement pieces, such as luscious silk vintage nighties or beautiful buttery knee-high boots that she wears every day in winter. Participating in thrift market culture makes up a part of Alea's personal identity. She often easily connects with people that she meets at op shops and flea markets. Alea loves that flea markets are a sustainable and ethical alternative way of shopping, and she has converted her entire inner circle to it. Our last form of triangulated data will be secondary sources, which is a form of secondary data. These sources will be procured from the internet, including social media, scholarly references, and peer-reviewed articles. Narrative of the customer's social influence. Social media sites such as Pinterest and Instagram showcase images of desirable one-off items located at thrift shops or flea markets. The TikTok algorithm targets users based on their interests. Here are some videos that may show up on your customers' and vendors' TikTok For You page. Google reviews. Glebe Market boasts over 2,500 reviews, sitting at a rating of 4.3 stars. Many reviewers comment on the atmosphere of the market, and you can see through their writing how they are unpacking visceral, behavioral, and reflective levels. For example, I was greeted by the sweet sounds of live music, which set the perfect tone for the day, filled with fun and excitement. Visceral reflection, showing the customer's immediate emotional response, as well as the tables and chairs can be occupied quickly due to the crowds, or you can sit on the grass. Behavioral, covering usability and function. And the markets have a great community vibe. This reflects on the market fostering a sense of belonging. The bad reviews were a mix of petty remarks made by customers due to product dissatisfaction and genuine problems such as no plan for hazardous weather and lack of care or support for casual store holders. Narrative of a document analysis on existing research. Through these documents, I am going to look at reasons why people like to engage in these types of events in comparison to first cycle shopping, and look at the user's experience of overwhelm. Gregson and crew stated that the relationship between the buyer and the seller in the first cycle shops, such as online stores and shopping malls, is an ultra-process interaction that is not open to negotiation. It is fixed. Whereas the thrift or second-hand shopping experience invites the customer to participate in a dance to challenge prices and determine the value of the product. The writer states that knowledge is key in the transaction of retro or vintage items. To determine the value, they must know the history and story behind it. A quote from DeLong, Heinemann, and Riley about the transformation of use and value in thrifted clothing. Vintage clothing could be viewed as a cultural commoditization, involving a cultural shaping in its change in status through a process of withdrawal from one setting and rebirth into another setting. Reddit user in 2017 discusses feelings of overwhelm much like our interviewee. The Reddit user describes it as an uneasy, claustrophobic feeling, even driving her so far to not visit these stores at all anymore. This comes to the end of our ethnographic study of the Glebe Markets to unpack the empathy stage of the design process using Don Norman's emotional design theory. Through this presentation, we have communicated personal observations of the event, conducted a series of interviews from a permanent vendor to a customer, and found a list of secondary sources from social media, online peer-reviewed articles, and books to concrete our findings. Thank you for watching.